World War II Fagen Project by Kenzie, Callie, and Reagan.
For the European theater, Benito Mussolini believed Italy was shortchanged by the Treaty of Versailles. Later on, Mussolini and Hitler became allied together. Appeasement is policy of granting concessions to potential enemies to maintain peace. European nations did not want war, but in 1938, Germany signed the Non-Aggression Pact with Russia, which meant if you leave us alone, we will leave you alone.
During World War II, the Normandy Battle, or D-Day, was located on the northern coast of France on June 6, 1994, and it was called Operation Overlord that was launched over the sea. Before the battle, Nazi Germany had the strongest armies in the world, and the Allied forces wouldn't accept it, so they started to plan an invasion. The goal was to have a massive force that Germany can't come back from. The invasion required extensive planning, and that planning became successful when the British, Canadian, and U.S. forces landed on 5 separate beachheads. It was an Allied invasion against Germany, and that battle began to turn the tide against the Nazis. The Allies formally accepted the unconditional surrender of Nazi Germany, and that was the end of war in Europe, with 4,000 Allied men dead and 10,000 wounded. There was an Allied liberation of Western Europe from Nazi Germany's control.
The Waco CG-4A was the most used cargo/troop military glider of World War II. The name Waco came from the initials of the company that created it, the Weaver Aircraft Company of Ohio. It was made out of honeycomb plywood and a steel tubular frame with a canvas covering. These materials provided strength with minimum weight, and the normal load was 7,500 pounds, but in emergency it could carry up to 9,000 pounds. Its maximum speed was 150 miles per hour and a gliding speed of 75 miles per hour.
This glider was meant to fly over enemy lines silently to put troops on the ground. After landing, the troops had to try to find each other and regroup. These gliders were known as flying coffins. The downside was rough landings. The CG-4A glider was meant for one-time uses. Once the enemy caught on, they started to make the landings rough. They would flood the landing spaces and have large pieces of metal and barbed wire to try and stop these glider planes from succeeding.
These are the sources where we found our information.